Hey guys, this is Garrett with Simply Act again. This is going to be the last video in the series of videos where we've been looking at all of the ways by which one practice can share data with either the patient themselves or with other practices who are either already involved in the patient's care or those who may need to become involved in their care. In this video, we're going to look at how a provider or practice can leverage the platform to provide the patient with options to choose from with regard to who the patient's going to see for the care that they're recommending. This lets the practice go ahead and document the needed care in a thread right now when it's going to be the quickest and easiest to do so without actually committing to sharing that data with a specific provider at the beginning. It gives the patient the ability to then select who they're going to see, and then once they've selected who they're going to see, the original provider then can easily update the collaboration request, which will activate the actual sharing of that data. So we're again in a care thread for patient Becky Ash. Patient is City General Dentistry, user Mary Jones. So same patient, but I just created a new fresh thread so that we can look at these interactions. So you can see in this thread there's technically no collaboration requests yet. We've got two files uploaded. One is a PA of broken tooth 19. Second is a Panorex. And then we've got Mary Jones making a note that is requesting that somebody evaluate non-restorable tooth 19 for removal and replacement with an implant. Okay, so for this interaction, as I mentioned, let's say Mary Jones wants to refer the patient, but instead of referring to a specific surgeon or a specific periodontist, Mary Jones wants to give the patient Becky options. So we're going to start in a similar way. We're going to come down to the add icon bottom left. We're going to select collaborator again. In the to field, we're going to search for the different options that we want to give the patient. So let's say we're going to, white periodontics is one of the options we're going to give them. Hometown oral surgery is a second option. And then let's say we'll give them a third option of southern oral surgery. So the collaboration request allows us to select multiple recipients. And we'll see how that's going to differ from just selecting one recipient. But we'll select referral. We won't add a comment. We'll keep it as routine. Otherwise, we'll do the same thing. We're going to send a request. So the referral collaboration request gets added to the thread, which we see here. If I expand the header, I can see that, again, we have a collaboration request showing on the thread, but it's italicized, it's listed as pending, and it shows that there's multiple recipients currently on that collaboration request. So when a collaboration request is pending, when it's in this italicized state, when it has multiple recipients on it, it doesn't actually send that collaboration request to any of those providers, as obviously that would create an issue as if we've got a collaboration request going out to all three of these at the same time. But what it does do, it documents the options that we gave the patient. It sends the patient notifications, for instance, an email on their side that again brings it to their attention as a reminder that when you're in the office today, we recommended, again, treatment of tooth 19. And here are three options we gave you: white periodontics, hometown oral surgery, southern oral surgery. And then as we talked about in a previous video, for each of those options, it's going to give them contact information so that they can reach out to those offices if they want to decide who they're going to see for care. So the patient leaves the office. We've already documented care at City General Dentistry. While they were there, while things were fresh, we went ahead and documented what we're recommending. We attached the appropriate files so that if Becky goes away, 3 months later, she finally decides to go get tooth 19 treated, we don't have to comb back through the records at that time to figure out what exactly were we recommending, where are those x-rays that we need to share. It's all done now. It's never going to be quicker and easier and more efficient than doing it now. This will pay dividends downstream, again, in that situation. So instead of spending 15 minutes trying to track everything down, combing through the chart later on when it's not fresh on our minds, Takes us a couple of minutes to create a thread and upload the files here, and we're done. So let's fast forward 3 months. Let's say Becky Ash, 3 months later, reaches out to us and lets us know, hey, I chose to see white periodontics for this treatment. So I've called them, I've created an appointment. Can you share my information with them? So it's as easy as navigating back to Becky Ash's chart. Let's just start from the dashboard to go through it all. So Becky calls in. She says, hey, I've decided that tooth started actually hurting now. I'm ready to get it treated. And I've got an appointment with white periodontics. So we come to the thread that we created for that tooth. We see again that we've created a request, but it's got multiple recipients. At the right side of the request, up in the header, there's a menu. I can elect to edit that request. In this case, all I've got to do is come in and take the 2 off that aren't going to be ones that she's seeing. I'm left with 1 entry in the recipient category. This is who she's decided to see. I'm going to update the request. The request is now changed to a new status. That means, and it's no longer italicized. So since there's only 1 recipient, the platform is now going, as we've seen in some of the previous videos, it's going to send that request to white periodontics. White periodontics will receive it on their end, as we've already looked at multiple times. Accept the request. They'll immediately be synced to this thread with our notes, our files attached, and again, in a matter of a few seconds, we've executed that referral after we've given the patient options to choose from. So this is one other way in which the platform can be leveraged to accomplish the sharing of data that ultimately ends up being to our benefit because it's much more efficient, it's much less reactive and much more proactive, and it's much more beneficial to the patient because it gives them plenty of options to choose from. As we looked at in the second video, the patient can technically take control of the data themselves and share it with whoever they want. We can send a specific referral to a specific provider. We can send a specific referral to multiple separate providers on an individual thread, like we looked at in the last video, where each of those providers can sync to the thread via separate collaboration requests. Or as we see here, we can go ahead and document the needed and recommended care. We can add multiple recommended providers to the collaboration request so the patient gets that information, almost like digital business cards on their side that they can then reach out with. And then we can easily come in and update it to whoever they choose. Or if they chose somebody other than the 3 that we listed, we technically could have changed that as well. So let's see here. So let's open our window. We'll look at that real quick. Let's say they actually decided they didn't want to see white periodontics and they're going to see Brazos Valley oral and maxillofacial surgery. We could technically update it to that, a separate one, if it's still in that new status. And now this referral gets sent to that practice. So we have all of these abilities to collaborate and share data in a HIPAA compliant manner in a way that makes the patient experience significantly better while also improving our own workflows. So again, we're super excited about the functionalities here. Networks across the country are using these interactions to share data in a much deeper, more profound way. And hopefully you'll start using them in this same fashion. Obviously, if there's questions about any of this, if we need to dig a little deeper in any of it, let us know what those questions are, and we can sync up and get those solved for you. So anyways, this has been a series of videos showing you all these different options. Hopefully it helps, and you guys have a great day.